Hi everyone, I'm back with another video on polynomial long division. Polynomial long division is used when you want to divide out polynomials, but there's no way of doing it because there's no way to further factor out either the numerator or the denominator to simplify the terms. So when we look at these problems, the first thing we want to do is we want to look at this x term right here every time. This is the term that we are going to be working off of in order to solve this entire problem. So we have negative x plus 7 divided by the quantity negative 5x squared plus x plus 4. So like I said, the first thing we're going to want to do is take a look at this x, and we're going to ask ourselves, how many times can this negative x go into this negative 5x squared? And the answer to that is positive 5x. So we have positive 5x. So now we're going to multiply. 5x times negative x is negative 5x squared. And then we're also going to multiply the 5x times this 7 right here, which gives us a positive 35x. Okay? And then we're going to subtract this sum, just like we would in regular long division. So we have these two terms, they cancel out, and the x minus positive 35x becomes a negative 34x. And then we bring down the 4. Okay, so again, negative x goes into the negative 34x how many times? Positive 34. So positive 34 times negative x is negative 34x. Positive 34 times positive 7 is a positive 238. And again, we're going to subtract the sum. So these two terms cancel, and then we're left with a negative 234 because we have a positive and then we're subtracting a positive, so it's going to be a negative. So we're all done here, but now we need to write out the final answer. So that's going to be this sum up here, the 5x plus 34. But then we also have this negative 234. And what are we going to do with it? Well, we're going to put it over the divisor up here. So it's going to be negative 234 over negative x plus 7. Now, we can't be quick to say that this quotient right here will become a positive, because this negative right here, we can't say negative, or we can't say, oh, two negatives, we can make it into a positive. We can't do that because this negative is only being applied to this x. It's not being distributed throughout the x and the 7. Like if we had a set of parentheses around the x and the 7, then we could do that, but we can't in this case. All right, so that was a simpler problem. So let's go on to a bit more tricky problem. All right, so we have this quotient here, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to ask ourselves, how many times can 2x cubed go into 12x to the 5th? That's 6x squared times, all right? So then we multiply these two, we get 12x to the 5th, and then we also need to multiply the 6x squared by negative 5x, and that's going to be negative 30x cubed. Now, we can't go ahead and put it under this term that has x to the 4th, because guess what? X to the 4th and x cubed are not the same terms. So we need to put it under this term right here. So we have negative 30x cubed, and then we're going to subtract this difference. These terms cancel. We can bring the 2x to the 4th down. These two terms become a negative 8x cubed, and then we also need to bring our negative 5x squared down. And I had this written earlier, but all right, so I'm covering it. So now we need to go ahead and ask ourselves, how many times can 2x cubed go on 2x to the 4th? And that's just x times. Okay, so now we need to multiply. So we get 2x to the 4th right here, and then we also need to multiply the x times the negative 5x, and that's going to give us a negative 5x squared. So again, we're subtracting the difference. These two terms cancel. We bring down the negative 8x cubed. These two terms cancel, and we bring down the positive 20x. All right, so now we ask, how many times can 2x cubed go into negative 8x cubed? That's 4 times, negative 4 times, negative 4 times. Okay, and then negative 4 times 2x cubed is negative 8x cubed. Negative 4 times negative 5x is positive 20x. We subtract the sum, and these two terms cancel and these two terms cancel. So we're all done. This answer does not have a remainder, and the final answer is 6x squared plus x minus 4. All right? And now let's go on to the last problem. This is the toughest problem in this set that I'm doing. All right, so we have 2x squared plus 6x to the fourth minus 12x cubed plus 13x squared plus 3x plus 3 all divided by 2x squared plus 1. All right, so how many times can 2x squared go into 6x to the fourth? 3x squared times. Multiply out, we get 6x to the fourth times 3x, so the 3x squared times the 1, I was jumping the gun there. We multiply those, and then we get 3x squared. Again, we're not putting it under the x cubed term, we're putting it under the x squared term. So we get 3x squared, subtract. These two terms cancel. Negative 12x cubed comes down. These terms become a positive 10x squared. We bring down the positive 3x, all right? So 2x squared can go into negative 12x cubed, negative 6x times. We multiply, we get negative 12x cubed minus 6x. Subtract the difference. These two terms cancel, bring the 10x squared down. And these two terms become a positive 9x, and we bring down the positive 3. All right, 2x squared goes into 10x squared 5 times. 5 times 2x squared is 10x squared. 5 times 1 is 5. Subtract the sum. These two terms cancel. This 9x comes down along for the ride, and then the positive 3 minus the positive 5 becomes a negative 2, and that's our remainder, okay? And we're going to have for our final answer 3x squared minus 6x plus 5 plus 9x minus 2 all over 2x squared plus 1. And that's our final answer. So that's how you go about doing these problems. Hopefully it helped, and I'll see you next time with a different video.